Hi guys, Dragon Warrior Reviews here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Hot Toys Range Trooper from the Star Wars The Solo movie. So on the box here, we have a picture of the Range Trooper, then it says Hot Toys exclusive in red there, then down here it says Range Trooper, and another picture of him here. And on the sides here, we've almost got a full body picture of the figure himself. Be careful with these parts because they are very bendy and are easily bent. Trust me, I really wish these parts were glued down. If you guys are nervous about these, maybe you could blue tack these down when you put these in storage. Just be careful with these. And then on the back, we've got a load of Hot Toys store locations, legal information, and stuff like that. As per usual with Star Wars Hot Toys, we got this awesome artwork underneath the front of the box. And honestly, this looks awesome. I absolutely love this artwork. Unfortunately, in the Solo movie, we barely saw these Range Troopers. I think we only saw them for like 20 seconds or even less. We barely even saw them at all. So I'm surprised Hot Toys made one of these, but to be fair, this trooper design is very unique and very awesome, so I'm very glad they decided to make the Range Trooper. Alright, here we go. This is a first look at the trooper. My first impressions is this looks really awesome. The dirt on it looks really awesome. I even picked it up and had a little look at it, and honestly it's really awesome. There is something I don't like about it, which I noticed, but we will talk about that later in the review. But anyway, let's get the Range Trooper out and all of his accessories. He only really has one accessory. Alright, everything is now out of the box. Anyway, let's first start off with the display base. So this is a different display base than we are used to for Star Wars figures. Usually it's that kind of like black or grey flooring. Sometimes it comes more scratched, sometimes it comes in a grey colour. This time we've got a more interesting display base. Hot Toys have definitely used this display base a few times, or more than a few times, but we don't usually get this with troopers, and I've never owned one of these display bases, and I'm super glad that I can finally have one of these in my hand, because the detail is awesome, and you can put the crotch grabber wherever you want on the display base. You can stick it here, you can stick it here. It is crazy, and it's a Star Wars Range Trooper here, and it's a really good display base. I'm probably not going to use the crotch grabber just because these boots are absolutely huge. I don't think you'll have any trouble of standing. Anyway, I'm super happy to have this display base. One day I would love to see these like panels underneath light up. It kind of looks like it would light up. Kind of wish there was a little bit more detail down there. These are just like very clear grey. What I mean is down, you know, in the gaps there, the grey gaps. Wish there was a little bit of like detail, but it's fine. It's definitely better than those other display bases. Don't get me wrong, I like those other ones. They are simple. They could be anywhere in the Star Wars galaxy, the same with these ones, but this one is just a little bit more, has a bit more depth to it. Here we've got the hand, we've got one flared out hand, the detail's looking really quite good on the hand here. We got this pointing hand, I'm pretty sure this is what this is for. We get two gun holding hands, and already installed in the figure, some open palm hands. Now for the gun, so I had a little look at the gun off camera, and I really like it. Detail is really awesome, and there is real metal chains on here. Like I was like, when I picked it out of the box, I heard some like clinking sounds, and I was like, what's going on with my gun? And then I was like, oh, it's got metal chains in it. That is really awesome, and I really like that. A really awesome Star Wars blaster. It looks like it's got a scope there, and yeah, like a laser maybe to help him aim. That is really awesome. It also looks like it's got like a pump on it as well. It's like a pump rifle. I don't know. It's just really awesome though. Also, when I took the Range Trooper out of the box, this was in. This fell out. And basically, it meant to go in that pocket there, the one behind that one. Alright, let's take a look at the Range Trooper himself. So I've already picked him up and had a little look at him. And what I mean by that is I have been moving his arms around and stuff like that. And you're probably wondering why I've been doing that. Well, the coat kind of concerned me, because when you do lift up the arms, I will show you later, you kind of see the really ugly black plastic underneath. I think what I experimented with earlier, I wanted to experiment with it before showing you guys, just so I could tell you guys a solution maybe. And I think if you have his arm lifted up, if you sort of pull try and pull the jacket, you can do kind of a good job of hiding it. I'll see what I can do later in some poses. I want to try maybe 3 poses in this video and see what I can do of hiding those ugly joints. But before we do any of that, let's take a look at this figure and all of his details. So first, let's start off with the helmet. My flipping goodness, that is super detailed. I love the detail on it, the scratching. This helmet looks like it has gone through crap, man, and it is awesome. When we go to the back here, you can sort of see the detail, even more detail hidden under the fur coat, as you can see. And yeah, the fur coat looking really awesome. I wonder if the hairs on this will fall off over time. I guess time will tell with that, but it is awesome. Underneath, unfortunately, it's, if you want to like do like a head up pose, it's kind of a little ugly underneath. There's no neck cover or anything, so it looks a bit ugly, but it's not the end of the world. And as you can see, that visor is nice and orange. But honestly, I am a massive fan of this helmet. Really well detailed, well done, Hot Toys. It looks awesome. I love Trooper helmets, and this is definitely one of my favorite designs. I think this helmet design, we have seen this helmet design a few times with other troopers in Star Wars, like with the transport trooper, which the Mandalorian and Mayfield dressed up with, and I think another tank trooper or something. This is definitely an awesome helmet design. Now the torso is also very detailed. The scratching, I honestly cannot get over how awesome the detail is. I love troopers, man. They're just covered in dirt. It's amazing. These parts are sort of free floating here. They're sort of held on, really awesome. There's also a wire here. And if I move his arm here, you can sort of see it's going under the jacket. That's probably some heater or something, so the troop doesn't freeze to death. That's really awesome. And the dirt and grime. And the suit itself is very dirty. It looks like it's got like soot on it or something. Like he's been like near fire. They are supposed to be walking on the trains because of the like magnetized boots, so maybe they have to refill the trains. And I don't know. The back of this though, that is disgusting. So dirty. I love it, man. That is awesome. And yes, I did put the if these fall off, they're easy to put back in. I did put it back in. Here we've got another panel here, looking awesome. Nice fur here. I really wish the fur was a little longer, so it will cover the joints a bit more when you go to posing, but we'll get to that later. Hopefully, like I said earlier, I can do some magic to hide those joints. And another bit here looking really awesome. This is just an awesome figure. You've got a little skirty bit, more of that. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fur inside. He must be really warm. Lovely. That is good. They need to be warm or they won't survive. And let's do a full shot out so you can see the figure in its entirety. I haven't forgotten the boots. We're gonna do that last, just because they're one of the most detailed parts of the figure. Just want to give you a full shot of what it's looking like. As you can see, those boots look really awesome. There's one more thing I do want to talk about before the boots, but I just want to give you like a full shot of everything here. Looking great. I am recording this review in a different room. I'm actually doing it in my kitchen just because the light is really awesome, so I don't have to use my flash. There is a sound in the background which you might hear here and there in my reviews, but it's not the end of the world. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, we've got some nice little shin guard things here, or whatever. Yeah, this part of the suit doesn't look that dirty though. They should have probably put a bit of dirt and grime on that. It looked very clean. Same with this part. Or is it a little bit dirty? I think it might be a bit dirty actually. Anyway, there's another thing I really want to show you, which is really awesome. Now, as you can see, we have these wire parts going into the boots. These are actually not connected to anything, I'm pretty sure. Or are they? I watched part of somebody else's review and I'm pretty sure these parts are actually not fully connected in the inside. I've really looked underneath there and they kind of look like they are connected, but I think they're not. I'm pretty sure they're not, because if they were, if you tried to move the leg, these wires would really limit range of motion. When I start moving the legs, I'll see if they come apart. I'm pretty sure these aren't connected. It's a really good thing if they aren't connected, because range of motion on the legs will not be limited, and because of the skirt piece, you will never know if they're not connected or not, which is awesome. Anyway, let's take a look at the boots. So these boots are honestly incredible. Like, look at all the like engineering on the boots. They're like gravity boots, so they can sort of like lock their feet onto the train, which is really awesome. The detail is incredible. All the wires, it is amazing. Like, there's so much to look at, so much to point out here. It is awesome. Look at this, man. Down here as well, we've got some wires, stuff like that. It is awesome. Wow, like these boots are incredible. Look at that. Wow. This is honestly a stunning looking figure. Like, I really hope I can get this into some awesome good poses. I'm going to try and mess around with his legs, and I'll let you know about the sort of wires in the back and see if they're like connected or not. Maybe when I watched that review, maybe they were broken or something, so maybe his ones were broken or something. So let's see if his was broken or if they're actually supposed to be and not connected to make range of motion better. So I've had a little bit of a fiddle around, and these wires seem long enough where I don't think they would limit range of motion. So I think these are fully connected up on the suit, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just tucked underneath the suit and they can come out. Even if they do come out, it's really not, you're not going to notice. Anyway, also I was trying to like pose the boots or move the boots around, and if you do, occasionally these parts might pop out. They're not like broken or anything, you just have to put them back in. So boots are poseable, but they kind of like bits and pieces of them may like come out of them or something, like these little hoses, you know, might pop out, stuff like that. I wanted to do a pose where he's sort of stepping onto the display base, but I'm not sure if that's completely possible actually, because yeah, the way his boots are, I'm not sure. There's a picture on the Hot Toys website, but maybe they use something where they put like a piece behind there, like an illusion or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to try and get him into a pose and see what I can do with this range trooper. Actually, quickly before I put him into his first pose, this is what I was on about. By the way, I lifted his arm up and this is what happened. So I'm going to see if I can maybe do something with the jacket and see if I can hide that. So let me just sit here futzing for a while. Yes, so if you just pull the jacket up a little bit, it's nowhere near as bad. Yeah, it's a little bit there as you can see. But yeah, it's definitely possible to hide the joints pretty well, honestly. Yeah, honestly, not too bad. All right, we got pose number 1. I'm liking this quite a lot. So yeah, I did something with the feet, so he's sort of like stepping off the display base. It looks really, really awesome actually. He's sort of holding the gun like that, as you can see. And I just kept this open palm hand like that because it just looks really, really good, as you can see. And I like how this came out. First pose, not too bad. Tempting one to keep. This pose I might actually use for my final pose, maybe. I might repose him back like this. Shouldn't be too hard, or I might try something a little bit different. Just because this is a really, really awesome pose. And he feels quite sturdy. He's not going to fall off, I don't think, because of his massive boots. And it looks good. I do like how he's holding the gun, but I feel like I could do something a little bit better with that for my final pose. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me show you what I mean, by the way, about these boots. So don't worry about this at all. These do come out, like I said. If you're going to pose them like this, you're not going to see them from the back anyway. So it's not going to matter. But yeah, these do come out. But when you probably pose them back to stock, to stand normally or straight up, these will go back in. So do not worry about that at all. It's all good. But I like this pose quite a lot. It's really, really cool. I'm just trying different poses with this, and yeah, I have messed with the jacket. So yeah, you can mess with the jacket, don't worry. When I was messing around with this figure before I, started talking about it, I was really nervous about it. I was like, oh, this figure had so much potential, and then the jacket lets it down. But no, it doesn't. You just have to mess with the jacket, be patient, and you will get something pretty awesome. Anyway, let's move on to pose number 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I stand corrected. This pose is possible, the stepping off pose. I couldn't do it without the help of part of the crotch grabber here, but I did manage to do it, as you can see. So this was going to be my final pose, not final pose, but this was going to be the pose I was going to use on my display, but I don't think it is secure enough. Earlier I put it in the pose and it fell off on me and I caught it luckily, but it's not an easy pose at all. Also, it is blimming not as stable. Maybe I've made it stable now. Yeah, I think I've made it stable now because like the foot is sort of touching the ground. But I do really like how this has come out. You really can hide those wrist pegs or ugly black arm pegs, whatever you want to call them. Not arm pegs. You can hide the ugly black plastic quite well. You can still see it a little bit, but really it's not that bad, which is really, really awesome. So yeah, you can do it. I'm really tempted to keep this pose, honestly, but I do want to try something for my final pose, something something like my first pose, something very similar to that, just because it will probably fit better on the shelf I'm going to put it on. So yeah, but I really like this pose. It came out really, yes, that pose is really unstable, but it's possible and it does look good when you can do it, but I would not leave it in that pose unless you find a really secure way to keep him on that display base, because that is not a secure pose whatsoever. Anyway, let's put him in his third and final pose. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I got a very cool pose. Now, thank you, Hot Toys, for giving us this display base with this figure, because as I told you at the start of the video, you can put this crotch grabber pole anywhere. And because of that, I could achieve this pose here. This is a really awesome pose. He's stepping off of the display base, as you can see, really well. And I got into like a really sort of simple looking pose, which I really like. When I was messing around with him before this pose, I really like how he's sort of looking down like that. It just looks really, really awesome. I thought, okay, I want to do something, you know, like this. We got the open palm hand there, just resting on his sort of skirt piece there. And it's one of those poses which is simple but awesome. And with Troopers, I do like to go more simple. What was really funny, by the way, is I was going to record this bit, but then I sort of ruined it. But basically, like literally like a few minutes ago, this piece here, by the way, this falls out quite easily. It's quite loose in there. In my particular copy, it might be with yours. If it is, just be careful you don't lose that. But this like piece was literally resting on top of here. What I mean by that is if I try and take this out now, it literally was like balancing like that earlier, like a few minutes ago. I was like, what? That is so funny. But yeah, this pose should be quite secure. There's no way of him falling off, I don't think. Right between the crotch there, as you can see, I don't even need this piece here. Sometimes you don't, like with the Praetorian Guard, and also I think my other clone commando and I think my gold clone trooper, I did the same sort of thing without the metal piece here. It works, it really does. I am planning on doing something really cool with the Sabine Hot Toys figure, where she's on the display base, but she's stepping off the display base by stepping on a helmet. I am confident that I can get that pose, but I'm hoping I can get it secure enough, maybe like wedge like her crotch between the pole like I've done here, so it's secure. Because if your figures aren't secure, it's dangerous, man, trust me. So you don't want them falling off your shelf, because, or worse, falling and then hitting another figure on the way down. That is bad. And in my case with this one, it would hit the Green Goblin. So yeah, I made sure it was in a good pose here, and also these little bits, I made sure they're in. You just have to pull the boots down. Sometimes, you know, when you're articulating them, they sort of pull up a little bit, so you have to push them down a little bit, and you know, like you can see what I mean. And yeah, and these wires, you do not limit articulation. Maybe they do, but not really for these sort of poses here. I'm really proud of this pose, ladies and gentlemen. Really love it. And honestly, I've had a lot of fun messing around with this figure. At the start, I was a little nervous. I was like, I'm not going to like this figure because of the jacket. But you can hide the ugly plastic arms very easily, actually. So honestly, Hot Toys, well done on this piece. Very detailed, very awesome, and I really, really like it. Like, seriously, really like this piece. Super glad I bought it. I love Troopers, and literally when I first saw this, when it was revealed or released, sorry, oh my blimmin' goodness. Yeah, I fell off my chair, ladies and gentlemen. But while my anus is on the floor right now, as I was trying to say, when I first saw this figure, I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, should I get it? Should I not? And I'm like, I really want this figure, and I'm super glad I bought it. Yeah, I had to sit on cushions on my chair just because the chair isn't tall enough, and I fell off. It's your fault, Trooper. You shot me. Moving on to the two irritating and two great things about this figure. So the first irritating thing is the exposed sort of joints. So if you don't hide the joints properly, you've got that ugly sort of black plastic and the black wrist pegs. And underneath the helmet, if you have him looking up too much, it exposes that ugly piece as well. I kind of wish they did something where maybe they had some like fabric under the helmet or something, or maybe some fabric underneath the on the arms, maybe some white fabric or black fabric, something like that, so it wouldn't look so shiny and cheap, should I say, underneath. Kind of wish they just tried to hide the ugly black plastic arms and neck a little better, but you know what, it is definitely not the end of the world. The second irritating thing is these pieces here seem quite loose. I don't know if this one doesn't seem as loose. Maybe this one's actually stuck in. It looks like this one, it seems like this one's stuck in and then this one isn't. And maybe you're supposed to remove them, maybe they're removable so you can have them maybe displayed, but I wouldn't have thought so. So kind of wish these were in a little bit, and maybe mine's broken though. I am not sure. I am not sure, guys, if mine is broken, but even if it is broken, it's irritating that they didn't make sure that these pieces are secure, because you could lose these very easily. You know, you could take it out of the box or pose it or something and it could go flying. And in my case, I'm actually in the kitchen, so it could go down the side down there and I could never get it again. So I kind of wish they were a little easier, a little more secure in there. Honestly, that is a very nitpicky thing, but I had to think of something for the second irritating thing. It was hard because this figure is so good. The first great thing is, my goodness, the detail. The detail on this figure is absolutely chef's kiss, perfect, perfection. Or is it? Well, there's not weathering down there, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world at all. Maybe I should have put that as the first irritating thing, but these aren't really weathered. But that doesn't really bother me. I would be more bothered if these pieces got lost. So, yeah, it's alright. You know, it doesn't really bother me. Most of the suit is weathered. Maybe not all of it has to be weathered. I don't know. This bit looks a little bit browny. So, yeah, it's not really weathered down here. But it's okay. But the suit is just incredible. Sorry, the armor is just disgusting. And it is what you need. It is what you need with a trooper figure like this. The second great thing is this display base. Number one, it looks better than the display bases we usually get. And number two, you can put this crotch grabber pole anywhere on the display base, or almost anywhere on the display base. And because of that, you can do stuff like this. Because my Sabine figure comes with the old sort of styles display bases, I think it will be harder for me to achieve the pose I want to, because there's only one place the crotch grabber can go, and I don't have any more of these display bases. So that's going to be a bit more of a challenge. You'll have to wait and see for the review if I can pull off the pose I want to. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, is this figure worth it? Well, we barely saw the trooper in the show. So what do I say about that? It 100% is worth it because it looks incredible. If you like unique looking troopers, especially this helmet mold, this is almost perfect. Like, it has presence because it's a big bulky trooper in a massive jacket, massive gravity boots, and it brings presence. It brings presence and it is beautiful. So I say this figure, honestly, is almost perfect. Like, I had a lot of fun posing it. It was a lot of fun to work with. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this review, make sure to hit the subscribe button and that like button. Also, comment down below what you think of this range trooper. Also, if you want to go one further, make sure to press the link in the description because I do now have an Instagram account. Basically, I'm going to be doing daily stories. I'm also going to show teaser pictures of upcoming reviews before they are uploaded to this YouTube channel. Also, shorts that I upload to this YouTube channel will be a day or two early on my Instagram account. So make sure to go and follow me on there. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in another review, figure preview, or short. My God, ladies and gentlemen, pick this figure up.